There's a Honda Civic to my left. He's very cautiously driving behind me. I mean, why is he doing it? It's so odd. Long story short, this car gets attention. This is a 2019 Dodge Charger Pursuit Edition. This one's got a full light bar system. It's got the crash bar. This thing is essentially a cop car, just without the badge, like the sheriff badge on the side. So it's about as close as you can get legally to a cop car. And you know, it's very interesting driving this car day to day. I mean, to be fair, the left lane's always open, which is nice. I'm on the highway right now, we're cruising. The suspension is just beautiful, but that's not the focus of today's video. Have I got a story for you guys? Let's jump in the car and let's talk about it. Today, I want to share with you guys a very interesting story. Quite ironically, it features a cop car getting pulled over by a cop car. The end result kind of baffled me. So let's rewind about 6 months ago. I was in the market for one of these cars and I found one online. This one, it was a fully equipped cop car. I kind of didn't believe it at first. Okay, let me pass car. Yep, okay. See, the cars just always slow down when I merge. Isn't that awesome? Imagine every time you turn on your blinker, the car slows down and you can just merge in, you know. I guess that's one of the perks. So I was in the market for a cop car and I found one online. It was about 300 miles away from where I lived. Took a train there, checked out the car. It all checked out. I was into it, negotiated him down a couple thousand. Ended up scooping up this car for 20 grand, which is quite a phenomenal deal if you ask me. We got all-wheel drive, we got V8. It's a 2019. This thing is pretty clean for what it is. So overall, I'm not too disappointed with the price I paid. And for the fun you get and the V8, pretty nice, except the exhaust sucks. This thing needs a muffler delete or something, you know, not super loud, but this thing kind of just sounds like a vacuum cleaner. So let me know what you guys think. Should this thing get a muffler delete? I'll make a video about that perhaps in the future. But all right, I buy this car, I'm driving it back home, and I had to take the train there in the morning, so I got there at maybe 1 p.m. and then checked out the car. By the time I bought the car, it was about 5 p.m. and I was heading back, driving home, enjoying this car. Beautiful engine, I love it. And I finally get back into town. And I was just driving, I was maybe 2 miles from my destination. And by the time I got back, it was maybe 2 in the morning. And it was a Friday as well. So there were parties happening all around me, and I got some quite interesting stares because of the design of this car, if we put it lightly. So just driving this car, okay. Oh, I wish I could show you guys. The guy just moves to the right and then I can go. We have someone behind me. He is slamming on the brakes. I kind of feel bad. I gotta move over. I'm causing a pileup. Oh shit. This is not good. All right, I moved over. I'll be exiting in just a mile. Don't worry, guys. But man, this car gets so much attention. It's quite unbelievable. So I was driving and now we're back at 2 a.m. I'm driving. I make a right, and I thought this was a normal right. It's like a cross intersection, so of course, if you're just driving straight, you'll take a right, but little did I know there was a additional road to the side that I had to take a right on in order to merge onto the road. It was really hard to spot, and at 2 in the morning in an unfamiliar town, it just went over my head, so I just took a right where it normally seemed like you should have. So I take this right turn. I'm just trying to get home. I'm tired. And then I see something tailgating me, Chevy Tahoe. I'm like, oh, that's terrific. I've driven enough cars to know exactly what those headlights mean. And it's not a good thing. On really quick. Just got to send it around this roundabout. This car's fun. It's got the all-wheel drive, so I can really just kind of grip around the corners, unlike the rear-wheel drive Chargers. So, all right, this guy's tailgating me. I'm like, ah, shit. I've been here before. I don't even have any insurance. I'm really kind of confused as to what he's going to be doing. So, whenever a cop follows me, what my typical plan that I personally do, I try to get off I take a right immediately to see, is he following me? Because I never like having a cop car behind me. If there's a cop car sitting behind you for 20 minutes and he's bored, he'll find a reason to pull you over. You made a little error here. You didn't use your signal. Fun little car. So I make a right immediately once I see that he's following me. And, well, he makes a right as well. So that confirms my judgment. He's following me. Terrific. So normal protocol, I go in the right lane. I'm going 25. I'm like, why is he pulling me over? I didn't know I made a wrong turn at the time. I thought that, I'm just having a cop car. The guy who I bought the car from, he warned me. He's like, look, man, I'll sell you the car, but you promised me you cannot come back 5 days later because you're getting harassed by the cops. So, the police officer doesn't pull me over initially. Usually, if a cop's going to pull you over, he cranks on the lights within about a minute. He doesn't. He just kind of tails me a little bit. And what he does is he goes around and he goes parallel to me, or right side by side to me. So he's kind of able to look in. And I think a big mistake on my part is I kind of just looked forward. I didn't look left and been like, what's up? How you doing? I'm kind of one of you guys somewhat, not really. I kind of just looked forward, like, oh shit, just chilling. I should have looked left and kind of waved at him and said, what's up? But I didn't do that. So he kind of just looks at me a little bit. He's just like confused, just like, what are you doing, man? And I'm just like driving, and then he slows down, goes behind me, and like follows me for another minute. I think he was just really worried that he was about to pull over his supervisor or just someone higher up than them, because this does look like a government vehicle. So he follows me. He turns on his lights, and I'm like, okay, I'll pull over. Of course, this car is pretty quick and fast, but it's not going to outrun any police officer. Not that I would do that, but I pulled over. He comes out immediately. They both storm up. Two people in the police vehicle. They go side by side. The guy on the right shines his light in. The guy on the left shines his light in my face. He's like, hey, do you know why I pulled you over? I'm like, he kind of just went through the whole spiel of, oh, I pulled you over. You made an improper right turn. I'm like, okay, buddy. Sure, it's the improper right turn. What you really want to know is who the hell's driving a fucking cop car at 2 a.m. on a Friday night. So I'm like, of course, whenever you get pulled over, guys, a tip, always have your hands on your steering wheel, turn on the light in your car. Don't make the officer have any kind of unnecessary doubts. Be as courteous as you can to them as they are to you, and usually you'll get the best result possible. So hands on the dash or hands on the steering wheel, being cooperative. Hey, yep, just bought the car today. Here's my registration. He's like, why are you driving a cop car? I actually just bought this car today. It's mine. They're like, the look on the guy's face was hilarious. He was just so confused. He was like, what the hell? So he's like asking me for information. I'm like, yeah, here's the bill of sale. Give him the documents. I don't have any insurance or anything, so I do my best to provide him with everything I got. And he's like, okay, I'll be right back. He goes back to his car. He chills there for like 10 minutes. I know he's running the VIN and all that. He comes up like 5 minutes in. He reads off the VIN from the front. He's like, okay, dispatch. He reads in my VIN number, trying to see if I like stole the car or anything. I'm just sitting there just relaxing. Like, look, the biggest crime I did at that moment was make an improper turn. Like, I'm just along for the ride now. What's happening? This is kind of entertaining. So he goes back to his car, he runs some more things, he has my license and all that, while the other guy is kind of looking at the back of my car, kind of like shining his light in, trying to find something. Nah, I wasn't born yesterday, man. You're not going to find anything in my car, The guy obviously is not coming up with anything, and he's kind of dumbfounded. He comes back, and he was like, hey, man, what, you could buy cars like these? And I'm like, apparently so. Yeah. And he was like, is that light bar working? Because the whole center area down here, let me just crank it down for you guys. You could just see this thing looks like it works. It's got the intercom system. It's got the whole radio, the light system. It can like make all the noises you want. It's not hooked up right now, of course, guys. Don't be thinking that it's all working right now. It's not. But this thing looks legit from afar. So he was like, hey, does this work? I'm like, nah, man. I start like just pressing buttons to show him that nothing's working, and I think that kind of alleviated his stress a little bit. I guess he thought I was maybe, trying to impersonate a cop and like turn on my lights and shit. Nah, nothing works, officer. Nothing works. I turned it back and forth. So he felt better after that. So I was like, yeah, I would never turn my lights on. That would be foolish to turn the lights on in public roads. I'm just kind of selling him, like, just telling him what he wants to hear. So after a bit, we just start talking a bit. And he's just like, hey man, you could sell those light bars for like $2,000. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, police departments need them. I was like, I didn't know that, officer. Thank you. He just starts telling me some random facts about the car. I guess he was kind of liked it. So he goes back to his car, and he comes back. He's like, okay, sir, I'm not gonna hold you up much longer. Here's your license, and cool car, by the way. And then he just kind of walks off. I'm like, all right. That's fucking weird. So I got pulled over at 2 a.m. on a Friday. Got stormed up by some cops that thought I stole a police vehicle, and they're like, oh shit, this is just a civilian that is just not really breaking any laws. He walked away in his car and drove off, and he didn't even give me a ticket for this improper right turn. So that confirms what I believed at the beginning. This was just a bunch of bullshit, which it was. But I guess this goes to show, just if you do get pulled over, if I can not get a ticket in a cop car, I think if you, I'm not trying to say like be a kiss ass to the cop, but just kind of be as cooperative as possible. Of course, don't overextend yourself if the officer is asking to, like, I don't know, like search you for no reason. Like, of course, draw the line there. But if the officer is just like, hey, like, just be cooperative, be personable to them, and most likely that helped me out at the end after all. So that's the biggest story of me getting pulled over in this cop car. That was the first night I bought it, and I had 2 more close calls, which honestly I'll tell you guys these stories right now because I'm quite dumbfounded as to how I didn't get pulled over for these things. I drove this car, and the car was not registered at the time. I think the registration expired by a bit. I ordered my license plate, but they weren't getting it in time, so I had like a 2-week window where the car was unregistered technically. So I was driving this car. All of a sudden I see a cop to my left just kind of tailing me. So I'm like, oh shit, my tags are expired. So I just maintain my position. He goes behind me. I'm like, all right, okay, I'm just getting ready to get pulled over. I'm just like looking at my documents, getting ready. And he goes to my left again. He kind of accelerates a little bit. Cops love to kind of do that roll by in this car to kind of be like, who the hell's driving this car? So this time I waved at him. So he pulled up next to me. I was like, what's up? And he kind of just like, both of them were just looking at me like, what the fuck is this guy doing? So I waved at them, continued driving. They go behind me. I'm like, okay, he's definitely pulling me over now. Nope. What he does is he just takes a right turn and goes off the road. I'm like, how odd. This car it was unregistered at the time. It's got the freaking light bar. I guess people here don't really care about people driving a car like this, which is good. I'm not looking for trouble necessarily. Trouble kind of just comes here because it's inherent to what this car is. But it's good to know that it's not as big of a deal as the dealer who I bought this car from makes it out to be. I mean, of course, if I start abusing this car, I'm sure I can find some trouble really quick. But if you're just kind of competent and know what's going on, I don't think you'll run into any significant issues. But yeah, those are 2 interesting stories that I had to share with you guys. It's definitely a joy to drive a car like this. It's not like anything else. You're gonna get attention from a car like this, trust me. From civilians, from you just parking or stopping at a stop sign, you just have like some soccer mom just like, what's going on? Like, oh my god, that's so illegal. I mean, technically it's not illegal, but people be people, if you know what I mean. Doesn't matter. I'm enjoying this V8. great. Plus, if you send this car on the highway, people just think, oh, he's just doing some sort of routine duty. It's like this car automatically converts the highway into an Autobahn for you, so it's terrific. All right, guys. Well, that's my interesting story for today. Hope you guys, enjoyed that. I certainly enjoyed it at the time when I got pulled over. Something to remember. And what's life without a little bit of stressful, interesting moments like that, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.